When we were going through the songs the other day in chronological order, we left off with Many Tears Ago, so the next one in sequence would be Where the Boys Are, and was that the first one that tied in with a film for you?
Yes.
Okay, what do you remember about that, and did you like it?
Well, yes and no. What happened was that Joe Pasternak, the producer, had said that a very unusual situation was that every top writer in Hollywood, including Jimmy Van Heusen and Sammy Kahn and all of them were writing on consignment. It was very unusual, Where the Boys Are. So I was at this meeting with Pasternak, the production meeting, and I said, well, you know, if I'm going to record this and I'm going to release it as a single, I have to have somebody who have already written a couple of million record sellers for me. And they said, who are they? And I said, Neil Sedaka and Howie Greenfield. They're from Brooklyn. Well, that's wonderful. They're from Brooklyn, but we need his song. So I said, no, they've written a lot of his songs for me. See, Neil had already had a couple of hits, but they didn't know it on the West Coast yet, because they were, you know, they were always the last to know about what was going on in the pop music world in those days. That was Tin Pan Alley, was New York, and that was Music World. So anyway, I called Neil and Howie very excited, and I said, look, in 1 week they're going to sit down and decide on the title song for my movie. I said, you got to write it, do the demo, Neil, Howie, get it on a plane to me. And they said, what's the title? I said, Where the Boys Are. Howie said, it's impossible to write a song called Where the Boys Are. That's the dumbest title I ever heard. I can't write a song. I said, you write it because, you know, it's your first title song from a movie. Yeah, it was a top 10 vote. So anyway, they sent it on a plane with the stewardess, and I got the thing, and after, there were no songwriters present, you know, but we played all the music, and there was tons of Where the Boys Are. So I played, Neil and Howie had written 2 versions. One of them we loved. Oh, it was so great. One of them we hated. So when Joe Pasternak heard the songs, he says, you were right. That's it. That's a hit song. So I called Howie and Neil, and I said, I've got good news and I've got bad news. I said, you've got my first title song from a motion picture, but it's the song we hate. That was Where the Boys Are.
Well, what about the one you loved?
Nothing ever happened to it. It was the way of the whole flesh.
What was the difference between the two?
We just happened to love the song a lot more. We just thought it was a lot, it said a lot more.
In other words, it was a completely different set of lyrics?
Oh, totally. Even the music was different.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, totally 2 different songs.
Well, wouldn't it have been novel to have recorded that as an alternate version?
No, because of airplaying. Are you kidding? You just put airplay.
Oh, maybe for an LP cut later on.
Well, I never recorded it.
Right, okay, so you never actually even tried it.
No.
Okay. After that, you were sort of back into a little bit of a country feeling again, which you had on My Heart Has a Mind of Its Own, etc., with Breaking in a Brand New Broken Heart.
Right, and that was a song that my father had said, you know, it's a hit, but Never on Sunday had made such a tremendous impact because I had sung it on the Academy Award show when it won, and the album, which I flew down to Nashville to do in a day. My father said, you got to release this Never on Sunday. And I said, I can't. I've got a top 5 record. I can't kill a top 5 record. My father said, you got to be kidding. This song, somebody's going to cut it and get, and of course, I think it was the Cordettes that did it.
They had the vocal, yeah. Don Costa had the instrumental.
Right. But Don Costa, you know, had that was a hit all over Europe. And I had been all over Europe prior to that. And Joe Pasternak said, don't do Never on Sunday. I want you to do the song, one of the songs that's going to win. I Call Me Irresponsible the second time around. And I said, that thing ain't going to win. I said, but if it does, I don't care. I just want to do the best performance song that I can do, and that's Never on Sunday. So that's what I did, and it was a surprise that that song won. And of course, you know, you look back when you talk about marriages and you talk about perfect marriages, the whole Motown thing was that there's a tremendous, incredible force in music, and they had a very unusual way of recording their songs. The artist was insignificant.
That's right. The names could have been transposed, and they could have called the Vandellas the Supremes or vice versa. I mean, but it was the sound.
Well, yeah, because the tracks were always recorded first without a singer in mind. It wasn't like it was today. In other words, they'd find a great song, they'd go in and do the tracks, and then they'd pick out a singer to do the song.
So whoever was available on that day maybe got that song, huh?
Well, no, I don't think it was that, but that's the way they did it. In other words, they made hit songs.
But you always hear stories about somebody opening the door and hollering out on the street and saying, "Hey, you girls come in here. We're gonna record a song."
No, it reminds me of the Stan Freberg record when this guy is supposed to be interviewing a guy like Fabian.
Right. It was called the Payola Roll Blues.
Right. And he said, "Excuse me, you're a good-looking kid. Can you sing?" No, they said, "Good, come with me."
Yeah, that's right. He says, "And you have everything it takes. You have a pompadour."
Right.
All of these are top 10 songs, even though they're drastically different songs from one another. So then you come back with another top 10 song, a remake of the 1920s Paul Whiteman tune, Together, but of course you gave it your own treatment.
Right. I love that. It was one of my favorite songs.
Were you familiar with the old version or not?
No, I never heard the old version. The lyrics to the recitation, which I wrote on all my songs. Anytime there was a recitation, I wrote the lyrics for it. And that was I thought one of that was to me like a new song when I heard it. I didn't remember it.
But as I recall, that was your first recitation on record, wasn't it?
Oh, let me think now.
I can't think of one before that.
Just trying to think. Don't Break the Heart That Loves You.
Well, that came later.
Okay.
See, that's 62. We're still in 61.
Right. Okay.
I think that was it.
Yeah, that was.
Where you did We Strolled the Lane Together.
No, I had done a lot of recitations on Italian songs. I did on Senza Mamma Innamorata. I did, on records, on albums. I had done some recitations before that. I remember, this was great. Ray Ellis, we had the two-sided hit with Lipstick on Your Collar and Frankie. So now, I told you about the meeting between Howie and myself and Neil about Frankie. What are you going to do on the other side? I said, well, I want to do a ballad about, I showed them the list of all the songs that were hits, with cities, states, and names. I said, names are always hits. So I said, so let's pick out a name. So Neil said, I know you want to do Bobby. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. So he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, let's call it Frankie, because Frankie's the hottest teenage idol in the country, Frankie Avalon. So we did it, and now at the session, Ray Ellis was in the control room, and someone else was conducting. And I said, the introduction started, and I said, Frankie, wherever you are, I love you. And he pressed the button. He said, give me a break. Give me a break. This is just going a little bit too far. He said, I can't stand it. I said, no. That's very important.
Leave it, right.
Leave it alone,
By the way, I guess technically that would be the first recitation, even though it's just a few words.
Right.